Hello there, students. Kumusta naman mo? I hope and pray that okay ra jud mo dira. Laban lang sa new normal nato ron. Well, anyway, magpadayon ta sa ato ang tutorial today. We are still in lesson 4, specifically in lesson 4.2. In lesson 4.1, we tackled about solving problems involving quadratic equations. That gives you an idea that somehow naadi ay mga real-life problems na masolve when quadratic equations are applied. In this lesson, 4.2, we'll be focusing for more problems involving rational algebraic equations or na ay fraction, na ay denominator. So if you want to learn more about this, please continue watching. This is Marnie M. Kuyag and Teacher M. ng Mactan. So let's start. For our first example, 7 divided by the sum of a number and 2 is equal to half the difference of the number and 3. Find all such numbers. So our goal in this problem is to find the number being asked. So our first step is to rewrite the problem into its equivalent mathematical sentence. So in this problem, we have two phrases here. So we have the first phrase, 7 divided by the sum of a number and 2. And the other phrase is half the difference of the number and 3. So now for the first phrase, 7 divided by the sum of a number, we are going to rewrite it in mathematical sentence, and it goes like this. 7 divided by, so over meaning that's division, sum of a number and 2. Since we don't know the value of that number, this one, number, so we are going to let number by x. So that's why x at ang gibutang sa usa ka number. The sum meaning we are going to add the sum of these two numbers and number and 2. That's it. For the second phrase, we have half the difference of the number and 3. So half the difference, so meaning we are going to divide it by 2. The difference of the number and 3. Again, number na sad, wala takabaw, so that's x. Difference meaning we're going to subtract it by 3, then divide it by 2 because of the word half. Now next, it is stated in our problem that the two phrases are equal to. So in writing the equation, we are going to equate the two phrases, the two mathematical sentence. So gi-equate ra ang first nga equation nga na-come up ug ang second na expression nga na-come up. Gibutangan lang og equal sign because it is stated here that they are equal to. Okay, next. All right, here's the equation nga ato ang nahimo gikan sa problem. Now, always remember, if the equation nga nahimo, if the given equation is a fraction, then between them na ay equal sign, then you are going to cross multiply. Again, if your given is a fraction, then na ay equal sign sa tunga, then you are going to solve for the values of x, then you are going to cross multiply, especially if na ay variable c denominator, dara na atay variable x. So we are going to cross multiply 7 times 2, dayon the product of x plus 2 and x minus 3, that is cross multiplying. So si 7 times 2 ug si product ni x plus 2 and x minus 3. Next is that using the PEMDAS, in which P ang nagsugod. So P stands for parenthesis. We are going to solve what is inside the parenthesis. And I guess ang tanan mo ay nasa sulod sa parenthesis. So 7 times 2, that is obviously 14. Then on the other side, as what you had noticed, we are going to multiply a binomial by binomial. Now, what do you mean by binomial again? Let's recall binomial from the word bi, meaning two. So meaning binomial, this our expression having two terms. Mama, asan two terms ani? First term si x, second term si 2. So this is a binomial and other binomial now. How are we going to multiply a binomial by a binomial? Yes, using a FOIL method. But we already know the shorter way, especially if our given is, or the numerical coefficient ni xk1. We can use the sum and product of roots. Can you remember mo sa itong lesson? Okay, to recall. So in using the sum and product of roots, of course, first we're going to multiply first x times x. Obviously, that's x squared. 2 times negative 3, that is negative 6. Now, giunsa ni nato pagkuha si middle term. Automatic matambutang ni x. Then iyahang numerical coefficient is the invisible 1 here. So, yun sa pagkuha through this one. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So, nga na no, sum and product of roots. Ang constant is the product of these two roots. Then, si value of b is the sum of these two roots, 2 of negative 3. Okay, next. Afterwards, we are going to transpose 14 to the right side. So, mahimo siyang negative 14. Ato lang gibalhin si 0 sa right side para nindot siya tanawon. Okay, then we are going to combine like terms. Asa man si like terms? We have negative 6 minus 14. And negative 6 minus 14, same term. According to the law of addition and subtraction of integers, if the two numbers has the same sign, then you are going to add, and that is 20. Then copy their sign, which is negative. So that's negative 20. Now, we already now have the equation in standard form. X squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. Then, we will now proceed to solving for x, given a standard form of the equation. So, how are we going to solve for x? We have 4 methods in solving, remember? 4 methods in solving a quadratic equation. These are extracting square root, balik-balik, factoring, completing the square, and by using the quadratic formula. But take note again, si extracting square root, dili pwede gamiton kung kompleto ang value ni A, B, C. But if wala gani value si B or si middle term, si linear term, then you can use extracting square root. In here, naaman si quadratic term, si quadratic term, naa si linear term, naa si constant, so you cannot use extracting square root. You can just use the 3 methods remaining. So I will be using the factoring because for me, it's easier to use factoring if mga simple lang equations. So here's the factor to check whether our factors is correct or are correct. We are going to use the law we are going to use law sa sum and product of roots. So, for the product of roots, kinahanglan makuha nato si negative 20. Negative 5 times 4, obviously that's negative 20. Check. Negative 5 plus 4, that's negative 1. Okay, invisible siya, negative 1. Check. So, meaning our factors are correct. Afterwards, since we already have our factors, we are going to separate the two factors and equate each factor to 0. So, ang usa ka factor is x minus 5 equated to 0, and the other factor is x plus 4 equated to 0. Afterwards, we're going to transpose negative 5 as well as positive 4, and it becomes 5 and the other one is negative 4. Therefore, the numbers are 5 and negative 4. That's it. Okay, let's now proceed to example number 2. I hope you understand how you are going to solve for x given a rational equation. So, mo na siya example sa rational equation. Rational meaning it's a fraction. Ang imuhang equation is a fraction. Specifically, ang denominator na ay variable. All right, here's the second example. Sandra can paint a kitchen in 6 hours, and Roger can paint the same kitchen in 7 hours. How long would it take for both working together to paint the kitchen? So now, si Sandra kuno makapintal same og kitchen. Example kani nga kitchen. Kung si Sandra mamintal, makaya ra niya in 6 hours. But if Sir Roger mamintal ana nga kitchen, 7 hours niya nga mahimo. Now, the question is, what if kung magtinabangay silang duha? Magtabang silang duha, magpintal sa kana nga kitchen. Pila ka oras nga para mahuman nila ang pagpintal sa kitchen. Now, this type of problem is what we call work problem. So, in work problem, we already have a formula nga to ang gamiton. And here's the formula. T over A plus T over B equals 1, in which T stands for the time if they are going to work together. Si A, muna ang time ni person 1, and si B, ang time ni person 2. Okay, let's substitute. T over si Sandra kay 6 hours, mahimo niya ang pagkintal sa kitchen. Next, plus T over 7 ang ka Roger, 7 hours ang pagpintal sa kitchen equals 1. Now, another example of rational equation. So now, what do you think is the first step in solving the value of T in this type of equation? So, try to recall how are you going to add a fraction with different denominator, or what we call the dissimilar fractions. Of course, we are going to find the LCD. So the LCD of 6 and 7, so if we say LCD is pwede siyang ma-divide ni 6 at the same time pwede siyang ma-divide ni 7, and that is number 42, because 42 divided by 6 is 7 and 42 divided by 7 is 6. Whatever the LCD is, you're going to multiply it both sides. Next, you're going to distribute the LCD, or you'll just do like this. 42 divide, parang masayon, shorter way, 42 divide 6, that is 7. 7 times t, that is 70. Now, let's proceed to the second term. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times t, that is 60, equals 42 times 1, that's 42. Nakuha ra? Divide ang LCD sa denominator, then times it sa numerator. Next, we're going to combine like terms. And our like terms, these are numbers nga same. It's either constant ba sila pareho or pareho sila og variable. So our same terms, we have 70 and 60. So 70 plus 60, that's obviously 13t equals 42. Now, we need to isolate t. Now, how? How are we going to isolate t? Kanang si t na lang mabilin, si 13 makancel. Of course, we're going to divide both sides by 13 to cancel out 13. Ug ang nabilin is approximately equal. This is read as approximately equal to 3.23. Therefore, it takes approximately 3.23 hours for them to paint the kitchen together. So, kung magtinabangay day sila, tulo ka oras kapin ra mahuman. So, it is better nga magtinabangay than mag-iyahay. So that's it. I hope you learned something from our tutorial today. If you have questions, you can just comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the notification for more video updates. This is me again, Marnie M. Kuyag, and Teacher M ng Mactan. Have a great day.